few moments later.
But go fuck yourself. Is that clear? I hope it is. Hey, Bob.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Mindset. Traveling again today. So this is my travel setup. Sorry for the up angle. I didn't have time to find something to prop this up on. So y'all are looking up at me today. But good to see everybody here in the chat. What's going on? Good to see everybody here. Invader Talk, Brandon, Claybuster, Melissa Jennings, Colic, all those members out there. Thank you so much. Big shout out to my mods, Danielle, professional gentleman. Thank you guys for coming through. And also Brandon. Appreciate you as well. Welcome here, guys, as we talk about this today, kind of getting these fresh off the press. Real quick, for those that are tuning in, I do want to give a quick apology. It's literally 2 a.m. here, guys, so bear with me. But that said, I do want to apologize for canceling my stream earlier today, which would have been your evening last night, which was my morning. I had people that were coming over and that were literally and that were like 100% in my apartment fixing my AC. My AC was dripping, and the only time I could fix it before I left town was right in the morning. So I had to cancel my stream so they could come over and fix it, fix the leak, patch everything up, which was all sorted out and got going. So that was good. But now, was on the road. I wanted to do it at 7, but I was still traveling then, so I couldn't get it done. But this dropped, so this takes a little priority over the VTubing segment because it's immediate, right? The VTubing stuff is not as burning, right, as these, which are hot off the press. And I want to go into it with a legal analysis. I know some other channels, somebody said Park Place just ended. Cool story, bro. But we're getting into it with the legal side and, my analysis from a legal perspective, which is a little bit different than a practical perspective or, people that are watching the industry from a, layman's perspective. So we'll get into it. And especially when it comes to corporate liability, right? That is one of the things that I was doing for a long time. I was, doing a lot of property stuff, special district stuff in Florida, working alongside many special districts, many of which did business or rather were across the table from Disney. But beyond that, I worked as in-house counsel. And this is something that as in-house counsel, when you're working for a company, you are assessing liabilities, risks, and this is a massive, massive liability. This is a nightmare for them. They're definitely calling an all-hands meeting with the in-house counsel immediately after these drop. I guarantee it. So we're going to get into that today. I've got a little palette cleanser. Somebody sent me a little palette cleanser, which I'll play at the maybe at some point here today. But this is going to be chiefly about playing the video. It's about 20 minutes. Analyzing it, kind of going through it. I know James O'Keefe has some areas where he gives some explanation, so I'll chime in on that. But we're just going to watch the video today. Really simple, really straightforward, and this is the first time I've watched all this video. I watched like 1 minute of it just to preview it and make sure everything was like working with the video, but it's kind of my raw take on this. And we'll talk about how this impacts Gina Carano's lawsuit, how this impacts the pending class action lawsuit, which many people don't even know about, right? The lawsuit by America First Legal. We're going to get into that right off the bat. So definitely stay tuned, right? And we'll be back with more VTuber coverage in the future. Kid Loco for 5 says, hi, I'm ready to hear the video of Disney and I forgive you. Disney mess is more important because of childhood for almost half of the word of years. Yeah. Disney's fucked up a lot. Disney has fucked up a whole lot. And Brandon, thank you for dropping the chat rules, which is no spamming, no breaking ToS, no demonetizing language, no drama, right? Whether you're creating, continuing, or exciting drama, and no self-promotion without permission. And also be civil, right? Be civil. And by self-promotion, I mean, don't be telling people to come over to your stream, and spamming that in the chat. Don't say, oh, I've got something going on. No. If you want to send him a super chat and be like, hey, look, I'm on this channel. Will you promote me? Yeah, I'm going to do that, right? Or if you want to say on DMs, hey Andrew, can you promote me? Yeah, sure. If you DM me, I'll do that. But you should generally ask that before you start spamming links in the channel or information in the channel, right? That's just basic chat rules. Leave the drama to Disney. All right. So let's get into it. Let's just get into the Disney files and get into what happened. Now, these were leaked by James O'Keefe of O'Keefe Media. Now, real quick, guys, James O'Keefe was actually kicked out of his original company. His original company was Project Veritas, but he was ousted from this company by a lot of folks that, had political agendas and other agendas to get him out of there. But he did not stop. He did not give up, and he continued to go on with his own company, O'Keefe Media. And this is a result of some of his work with this independent company. So just understand, this is not Project Veritas. This is O'Keefe Media, and this was dropped by James O'Keefe on Twitter. You can see his watermark there, which is OMG, O'Keefe Media Group. Up there on the right. So without further ado and without really gussying it up, let's just get right into it, guys. Let's go into this raw. And thank you. We've got 717 people. Please smash the like button and please make sure you're still subscribed, because I hope I am earning your subscription with all this different coverage I provide you on all these different topics. Kid Loco said, by the way, PSS, today is Copa America in real football. Yes, Copa America, the soccer tournament, right? Copa is huge when I was down in Miami. All right, let's go. Now, who are we going to be listening to? This is Michael Giordano, Senior Vice President, Team Lead of 20th Century on Walt Disney Company. Now, typically with a lot of these undercover cases, what they do is they kind of honey trap them, or they, get them out on either a date or, a business meetup or a social meetup. And these people just spill their guts. And this has happened over and over again, where a lot of guys, you get them out there, you get one drink in them and a girl in front of them, and they're telling you all of their secrets of the corporations. This is Michael Giordano, Senior Vice President and Team Lead, 20th Century Walt Disney Company. So let's listen up to what he's got to say about the practices of the Disney Company.
Certainly, there have been times where, there's no way we're on a white house.
Just kind of unspoken.
There are times when it's spoken, but
okay. So this is the thing that's really bad. Let's just go off rip here. This is really, really bad. And I know that this is something that the internet doesn't think is a problem, but the law, it's a problem, right? So I know that there's deranged people on the internet who say you cannot discriminate against white people or white men, etc. That is actually a very common view on the internet with many people. That is not true. You cannot discriminate on anyone based on gender, sex, race, national origin, even men, and even white men, right? That is actually illegal. So just to throw that out there, right? What he is saying is illegal. And if it was spoken out loud, that is going to be spot on ammunition for at least one of the Disney lawsuits. There's multiple that are still going, but we're going to talk about the one that I think it's just a slam dunk in.
How would they say it?
no way we're hiring a white helmets. They say
Like straight to you, or okay.
They'd be very careful how they message that to agents. According to these,
so what we might get, and what we would want to get there, is if we got this in an email, or if we got this in a text message or any other form of communication where this is out there and just being circulated, this is destructive. Now, I'm going to talk, once we play all this, we'll talk about the Gina Carano lawsuit versus the class action lawsuit, which are the two major lawsuits that Disney is facing right now, because both of them interact with this evidence in different ways, in different ways. However, there are some potentially very serious legal consequences here. Let's continue to play.
Unspoken.
There are times when it's spoken, but
how would they say it?
There's no way we're hiring a white male Mitchell. They say,
Like straight to you, or okay?
They'd be very careful how they message that to agents.
According to these videotapes, Disney blatantly discriminates against whites, white men in particular.
I think I'm sort of like well prepared for it. I'm well positioned for it. But as far as Disney's concerned, I'm a white male. That's not who they're looking to promote at the moment.
Oh, see, here's the problem. And I've actually been saying this for a while. And look, I'm not sure in this guy's sexual orientation, so I don't want to make an assumption. But actually, let's just say it this way. This discrimination against white males is going to backlash against a broad category of people, including LGBTQA++, because there's plenty of people who look like men and who are white or look white and will be discriminated against under this sort of rubric, right? So, I mean, this guy, whether or not he's, out here looking for a beard or he's, interested in this woman, right? In a serious sense, he's acknowledging that he knows he's not going to get promoted. And he knows he's not going to move his way up. So when you have a company culture like this, it's only a matter of time before the stuff comes out, before the stuff gets leaked out. And look, guys, I was in Central Florida. I've talked to people and who work at that company. This was true years ago, that they were not wanting to promote white men any more than they already had. And they were looking to aggressively promote anybody that was a quote unquote POC or met certain criteria and promote them as fast as possible. Right. But this is obviously something that's going to come out when you push up against a certain group. People are going to find out about it and the information is going to come out.
As a white guy, even Michael has his own doubts about the possibility for advancement for himself at Disney. In fact, Michael actually got to experience Disney's discrimination against white males firsthand.
I've been at the company 11 years now, so I have friends in HR and I have friends in those divisions. And they're like, look, nobody else is going to tell you this, Mike, but they're not considering any white males for the shop. They're just not.
And that right there, guys, this right there is prima facie illegal. So this evidence is enough to seal the deal on prima facie, on its face discrimination. Guys, companies, they settle, because most of the time they don't go to trial, but they settle for way less than this when it comes to discrimination lawsuits. Guys, discrimination lawsuits are settled sometimes over a fraction of a percent difference between the pay in men and women. So these crazy groups have done studies where they're like, men are paid 0.5% more. And the studies are always super flawed, right? They don't take into account hours worked or efficiency or performance or quality. They just go, oh, yep, these guys have generally the same role, even though a lot of times they won't have the same job title. There'll be different job titles. Let's say, oh, look, it's generally the same. And look, men are paid a little bit more. So, and people will settle lawsuits over that, right? This is way more than that. This is active discriminatory intent. This isn't disparate impact, which is what I'm talking about when there's a difference of percentile, right? This is actual malicious racial discrimination. They're pretty boned on this. Continue.
They even passed over a qualified half-black person for a promotion because they didn't look black enough.
Well, and that's straight up discrimination as well, right? And once again, you don't have to belong to any one particular group. This protects everybody: white, black, Latino, Asian, right? The purple people eater. It protects everybody, regardless of what your skin color is, your national origin is, your racial background. It protects absolutely everybody. And I know some people don't like that. I know some people want it to only protect certain people. They want the laws to be changed such that they only protect certain groups. Well, that's not how the law works. The law works equally to apply to everybody. I lowered the light there because I was looking a little yellow. By the way, it's kind of funny. These curtains are like doo-doo brown almost, but in the light they look like yellow. It's really weird. But let's continue with this.
We wanted to hire somebody in the department a few years ago now, who was half black, but didn't like appear at black. And there was a creative executive who was like, "We're not like that's not what's going on." Like they wanted somebody in meetings who would appear a certain way, and he wasn't gonna bring that to the meeting. I mean, it kind of feels like we're, you know, at some point there's going to be a lawsuit. That's kind of how it feels, just because of, you know.
And that is a lawyer talking. So how does Disney
Wait, hold on. It's like, hold on. Let me play that one more time. So hold on. Let's play this.
Wasn't gonna bring that to the meeting. I mean, it kind of feels like we're, you know, at some point there's going to be a lawsuit.
So I don't know whether he knows this yet or not, but there already is a lawsuit, right? So there's a lawsuit, and let me explain this real quick. There's a lawsuit going on over these discriminatory rubrics that came out a while ago in their inclusion standards, right? This is from America First Legal. They have a class action suit that is going on right now that's getting certified, right, over these criteria. So this guy isn't even aware of this, right? He's not even aware that there is a lawsuit, but this is definitely going to have other people come out and say, you know what? I was targeted. I was discriminated against. This is, by the way, in case you guys don't know, these are the inclusion standards that were for hiring people in their movies. And there was a requirement that they hire a racial quota, that they hire from 50% from quote unquote underrepresented groups, which excludes a lot of different folks, including white males, right? So saying actors, characters, right? Secondary characters, right? We're putting in some race quotas, right? Producers, writing staff, more race quotas. That's on its face illegal. So these on their face illegal practices of Disney are being challenged, and they're going to lose because they're just blatantly impermissible. You just can't do that. ActionCom says, setting aside this is journalism, can I hire a private detective to stereotypically O'Keefe-style interview a subject and present it as evidence in civil court? Would that too unethical? It depends. It depends on if your state is a single party or two-party consent state, right? So obviously, if there's single party consent, that's a different analysis than secondary consent. It also depends on what your claim is and what you're bringing it for, right? You know, I mean, obviously, if you're acting in bad faith, right, and it's something about like breach of contract, right, you might have some sort of unclean hands issue, you know, et cetera. So I can't say it would work in every single civil case, but is it possible it could work? Yes, of course. Yes, it is possible. There are some scenarios where your undercover video can actually essentially prove a civil case. It's possible.
I think that's kind of how it feels, just because of, you know.
and that is a
And yes, by the way, someone mentioned this is illegal in Florida. Florida is a two-party consent state. There's different states. Understand that is a big deal. Different states change the analysis big time. Now, of course, O'Keefe, by the way, he's standing in front of the California office. You can see because there's a fucking mountain in the background. This is not Florida. Florida, spoiler alert, Florida does not have mountains. The only mountain in Florida is Mount Trashmore, which is the giant pile of trash in South Florida. That is probably the only mountain there is, right? The highest point is Bach Tower, which is a beautiful tower built in Winter Haven. But really, there isn't much over. I think it's like 100 feet or so in elevation in Florida. So just understand, Florida's really flat.
lawyer talking. So how does Disney explain pushing these discriminatory practices? They use code words and buzzwords.
I'm guessing that there is a acceptable code words and buzzwords that are used to explain what they're looking for.
Yeah, and see, this is also super illegal. You can't establish a code word or a buzzword, a dog whistle, in order to get away with it.
They might say something like, you know, look, we're not looking at like the usual suspects for this job. You know, so it's like not like a legally actionable thing.
Actually, that is fucking wrong. That is legally actionable, especially if there's a pattern of behavior, right? And guys, the crazy thing about this is, imagine if this was reversed, right? Imagine if this was black women, And instead of calling it saying the usual suspects, they say we're not looking to hire any of those canaries, right? And just use the word canaries, right? Or German Shepherd, whatever you want to use, right? And say we're not hiring any of these canaries, any of these German Shepherds. We're not hiring any of these people. How quickly would they get sued? They get sued immediately for that. That's not permissible. It's clear. And so many people, the thing that messes with their head is we have been like gaslit into accepting the fact that this is okay if it's about a certain group of people or people with certain political beliefs or people of a certain persuasion. It's not okay. It's equally not okay. It would be just as bad. That's how the law works. Leprechaun Gold, thank you for the $20 super sticker. Appreciate that. Kai said there's plenty of mountains on the beach in Florida during spring break. Hey-o, Kai. I don't normally play VTuber clips, but I just want to say the mountains that are on the beach of Florida during spring break.
Not a sin. I cannot absolve you. Mega based.
Very based of you. Let's continue here.
Well, everybody knows what it means. They, for writers and actors, you hear all the time, like.
So guys, that's it. So this piece of evidence relates to the writers and actors, which is spot on with the America First class action lawsuit. They're fucked in that lawsuit now. This lawsuit, they've got to settle this lawsuit now because he's tying it directly in with that inclusion rubric. So that inclusion rubric, we just looked at the inclusion standards are now being made real and verified, right? It's bad. It's real bad. And by the way, understand that even if this couldn't be used in a case, you think this isn't persuasive for an EEOC claim, for example? No, it's pretty persuasive. It's a small girl said he'll probably get fired for being honest. No, he'll get fired for leaking the information and, of course, being honest, right? But yeah, no, he's definitely not. His tenure at Disney is not going to be very long. I'll tell you that right now. Let's continue.
Looking to hire writers and actors who bring diversity. I'm not looking to bring on any more clients who are like.
Yeah, so there we go. It's like, okay, we're looking to bring on a diverse collection of people. It's like, well, what the fuck does that mean, right?
Here in Burbank, California, outside Disney corporate headquarters. This is our first part in a series about blatant discrimination and woke policies at the Walt Disney Company. To say that the Disney Company has had a
so I will say this real quick to James O'Keefe. The discrimination's super illegal. Now, I know, look, I try not to get too political on the channel always, but woke policies alone aren't necessarily illegal unless they're violating the law. Now, the problem is a lot of the most recent woke policies, particularly stuff like DEI initiatives, those have been violating the law. That's the problem. Just because something, for example, if there is a woke policy that let's say that everybody is going to be given a day off to celebrate, BLM Day. They create a company holiday that is BLM Day, right? And everybody gets a day off, right? That's something that's probably not actionable, right? But if they are actively discriminating against one group, saying, hey, white men aren't getting promoted, yeah, that's actionable. So we do have to separate, okay, is the policy, just because it's quote unquote woke, doesn't mean it's necessarily illegal. However, many woke policies are illegal. So that's the very, very fine line to draw, is that many woke policies are illegal, but just because it's woke doesn't mean it's necessarily legal. It's like LSAT, right? All A is B, but not all B is A, right? You got to just understand. Let's continue.
tumultuous 5 years? Well, that would be an understatement. Major box office flops, a losing battle with the state of Florida, and a stock that is...
Boom! Boom! He said it, guys! He fucking said it. a losing battle with the state of Florida. Everybody was sitting here saying, oh, they took the W, blah, blah, blah. Nope, they took it. They took a massive L. And guess who called this 2 years ago? Your boy. I will take a lap on that. I'm sorry. I'm going to take a little victory lap on that. I called this 2-3 years ago. They were going to get absolutely destroyed because the only option for them was to settle if they wanted to build anything. And that's what they had to do. And I will continue to take my dub on that because everyone was smoking the pixie dust so hard. They were mainlining that pixie dust directly into their eyeballs. But I held the line and I said, you know what? Nope. They're going to settle. They're going to take the L. And they did it. They absolutely did it. And Disney is absolutely at the mercy of the state of Florida and the Central Florida Tourism Oversight District, which they still don't control. Now, they're collaborating better with it right now, but they don't control it.
Battle with the state of Florida and a stock that is one of the worst performers on Wall Street. And as you'll probably conclude from this report, as well as recent shareholder rumblings, almost all of Disney's recent failings are as a result of Bob Iger and the cast of characters here at Disney.
Yes, this is a really good point, is that Bob Iger has been absolutely complicit in this. He is no savior. He is, in fact, a person who has been behind this. It has been 100% behind this the entire way. In fact, he was always in the office, even when he quit as CEO and Bob Chapek was there. He was in the office taking 2 showers a day as a quote unquote consultant, right, when he quit, but he never really left.
They're trying to force woke DEI policies into every aspect.
Where's Kirsha? Saying woke DEI policies? She'll enjoy this. Let's continue.
Of Disney's vast media empire. What used to be a highly profitable company by being the gold standard of family entertainment has taken a sharp downturn in the wake of all of its.
Now, I will say real quick, this type of shit is exactly why people are turning to anime, why people are turning to manga, why people are going to alternative media, because it doesn't have this bullshit in it. And I don't care if you're left or right. Look, people just don't want to always see politics directly infused into their what they're trying to escape into, right? Just being able to watch something that's wholesome or watch something that's entertaining or watch somebody just play a game, right? People should be allowed to play a game and not be harassed for their political beliefs, not have to take some sort of litmus test, right? They should just be able to enjoy their life. It's basic, right? And that's why people are saying, you know what, I'm done. I'm done with this stuff. And by the way, guys, I love how, like, for example, I'm over here in Asia and they'll bring in concerts with Disney music, right? I saw one in Bangkok. They're like, oh, they're bringing in concerts with Disney music, right? Guess what songs they're playing? All of the classics, right? Like Part of This World, Circle of Life, all the oldies, right? They're not playing Tiana's themes. They're not playing, things from, the latest, the latest Inside Out or whatever, Elemental or whatever other crap. They got Wish, right? The Wish theme isn't on there. None of that's in there. They're not playing any of that. It's the old classic stuff because that's what people love, but they ignore that. And beyond that, they hate Walt Disney because Walt Disney cared about the quality and the product above an agenda. And so they that classic stuff, they hate it. And they've got to try to change it and morph it into something else. They've got to just go back and destroy it. That's their only option that they feel is viable for them.
Of all of its wokeness. Under CEO Bob Iger's leadership, Disney's downfall likely started with...
Oh, someone mentioned The Little Mermaid, by the way. Yeah, you know what version of The Little Mermaid, when there's a play here or there's a screening, you know what little version of The Mermaid they're not showing in, let's say, China or Korea or Taiwan or Southeast Asia? I'll let you guess. I'll let you guys guess which version they're playing and which version they're not playing. I'll just leave that up to you guys.
The insane hiring practices amongst its executives and creative teams. One of their top senior vice presidents claims that they not only discriminate against white men, when recruiting and hiring middle management, they actually give bonuses for hiring and retaining employees that are specifically not white.
Now, that's illegal, by the way, too. Giving a bonus for hiring a non-white person over a person that is white is also illegal, right? And the thing is, look, guys, in most employment cases and discrimination cases, you have one small thing that is taken, and obviously these things are settled, but that is taken to the extreme. The case is made based on one small little thing, right? One small thing makes a case. In this, we've got direct, clear evidence that they're doing these things.
According to these videotapes, Disney blatantly discriminates against whites, white men in particular. Not a week goes by without a news headline about potential medical supply shortages, threats to our infrastructure or power grid. And you remember what they pulled during the last pandemic. Certain medications were mysteriously out of stock. No way.
And let me get through his little commercial here real quick, because I don't want to accidentally promote something that may or may not that I haven't vetted. So let me just skip ahead real quick here. All right, got it. Which, by the way, you can watch all this on James O'Keefe's Twitter and get all of this information.
Diversity, equity, and inclusion
Yeah.
department, who's very
Okay.
involved in like setting standards to make sure that our shows have diversity.
Do you think like Bob has a say in the diversity stuff when they're casting people? Like
100%.
to what
He gives the directive. I mean,
for each show? For each
not that specifically, but like, hey, I want every show to have.
Hey guys, how's the Acolyte, guys? Does let me put this in the chat. I wanted this poll here for you guys to answer. Right? Do you think they used these diversity standards on the Acolyte? Which, it's Lucasfilms. So I just want to know, did they use them or not? Did they apply these diversity standards on the Acolyte or not? By the way, King Conda says, cheers, 3 months. Cheers to you, brother. Nahualito says, what if the company emails you and says, do not phone screen women's or vets? We need to, quote, just pass them to the full interview. Is that illegal? I've always wondered, asking for a friend. Yeah, no, you can't exclude vets or target or literally allow women or vets to be excluded, right? Now, if you're saying, oh, yeah, we're just going to give them a perfunctory pass to the full interview, well, that's kind of bad. That is kind of bad, right? So that would be a discriminatory practice because everyone who's not a woman or a vet is being discriminated against. Think about it. They're getting an unfair advantage. Now, it's hard to catch people doing this. That's the problem. Kid Loco accurately guessed real Ariel, the white red hair Ariel. Yeah, the one that's accurate to lore. Yes. Yes. All right. Let's continue with this.
Substantial.
Iger even has a chief diversity officer. Now, up until recently, that was Latondra Newton, who played a big part in dragging Disney full bore into its losing culture war by promoting discriminatory hiring practices and introducing gay, lesbian, transgender, non-binary, and other characters into Disney's children's animated series and films.
And once again, Disney has a right to put what they want into their intellectual property, but don't just be honest about what you're doing and what you're trying to do, right? I mean, it is their intellectual property. They can do what they want to do, but what they're doing is they're trying to hide the ball, right? And which is always weird how they'll make these political statements. They'll try to take these stands, but they'll try to pretend they're not doing it. Just admit that you're trying to do this. Right? Just be like, yeah, we're actively trying to, educate children on XYZ, but they refuse to acknowledge that or say that and just say, you guys are bigoted, sexist, racist, homophobe, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, no, maybe we just, there's people out there that say maybe Disney, when it's targeting children, should stick to, topics that are appropriate for children. That's all. One Dickhead says, gifted 10 Legal Mindset memberships. Thank you so much, One Dickhead. Appreciate that head. Japanese demon lord Abari Lucifer 2 said this guy just deleted his LinkedIn profile. Oof. People are hitting him up. You knew people were hitting him up.
Is it like an all across thing, like all of HR, or there's like that one specific person that kind of like? Because I forgot
Good
the
question.
lady's name. She's the head of the.
Oh, I know what you're talking about, the head of the diversity, yeah.
The African American lady. Yeah. So is that like kind of her deciding?
She
that?
oversees a lot of that for sure. But it's pretty broad, I would say. There are other people in HR who are also focused on that. I would say a relatively large percentage of our top writer creators happen to be gay. And a lot of
Just by happenstance.
I mean, like, just like if you say whatever, I don't know, whatever, 10 or 15% of the population.
Okay. Guys, I'm going to call some bullshit on this. Now, you guys say yes, you think the Acolyte uses diversity standards. I don't think this is kind of insane. I actually don't like this man thinks 10 to 15% of the population is gay. That's wild. That is wild. And this is actually something I've talked about before. This public perception that it's far more common. Now listen, yeah, I mean 1% is still a lot of people. And 1% still deserves all their protections under the law, like any other citizen deserves to have their rights protected. But fucking 15%? You're smoking crack. And by the way, he's not saying lesbian, bisexual, LGBT. He's saying specifically gay men. He's saying gay men are 10 to 15% of the population. What? Are you insane?
I would guess they 30 to 35% of our top writers.
Now, what he may be missing here is the population of West Hollywood, right? Because this is Burbank, right? So maybe these people are out there living in West Hollywood, and they assume that because most of West Hollywood is gay, that is the population. See, he's looking at that local population and saying, yeah, this is representative of the US. Well, it's not. I know this is insane especially for Southern California people, but Southern California demographics are not American demographics. It doesn't represent the country as a whole, or even what is the norm, right? What is the average? Super memeable here. Oh, maybe 30, 45% happen to be gay, right? Yeah. And look, listen, I'll even say this. There's some jobs and occupations where people might just end up having certain proclivities because those jobs tend to attract certain people. And I don't have a problem with that if those proclivities allow them to do their job more effectively, right? But that said, they're saying that they're actively looking for these people, that they're actively going out there and finding them. That's the problem.
Gay. And so I think a lot of them lean into trans stories more than the average straight writer would.
And in an odd twist, you have to be a white Jewish guy to be considered for a C-suite job. More on that next week.
Now that is fucked up. Okay. Well, if we're talking about that is just insane. That is insane. And it seems like it's anti-Semitic too. Seems like I got some anti-Semitism here. If we're going to be hating on white Jewish males.
But now let's meet Los Angeles-based Michael Giordano, a white male and Walt Disney's senior vice president of business affairs.
Oof. I do like business affairs, so like negotiations for television.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Nice. That's really
So
cool.
not really like on the creative side. So a lot of it is like knowing like the guild agreements and the union agreements and everything. Like make offers for the writers and the actors who are going to be out working on the show, and the producers and the directors.
This guy is intimately involved in the hiring process. This is where they're screwed, because this guy is in the hiring process, and he's telling you that in this process, it's racist, it's sexist. Bro, that's bad. Leprechaun, go for 10. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Also, I will get the locals later, guys. But I see the locals. So Senpai notices you. So locals people, I will get you. I see you. let's continue.
And try to like, get to a place where we can be able to deal with them, help the production to budget, and so much of my job is just the negotiating room. And then other people are doing kind of the drafting of the contracts. So,
Oh wow! So yeah, what's the negotiating like?
I'm like sitting down and trying to figure out, okay, what are we gonna pay this actor for this role? What do we think they want?
Oh wow!
Kind of strategize that. Everything from how you produce a show, how you distribute a show, how you exhibit a show, how you market a show, things like that. All of the negotiations and deal making that related to it.
Yeah.
One, well, actually two of our brave undercover journalist and American swiper investigative reporters met Michael on the dating app Hinge.
Oh shit! Oh, guys, confirmed. Also, can we zoom in on his? No, let's zoom. Okay, no, guys, enhance. My simple pleasures: morning workouts, protein shakes, irreverent humor, and beach vibes. Guys, if you put beach vibes, I'm sorry. I don't know what I don't. Right. Not hashtag not my Hinge profile. Oh,
And aside from this,
oh, sorry. Well, hold on. 80s food media and Italian food. Oh, 80s media. You know, 80s media is big racist. You know, it's big misogynist. 80s media, bro. This guy's like a member of like QAnon here. He's like part of the J6 conspiracy. 80s media. Oh, no, he's done. Lock him up.
story, which focused on Disney's overt discrimination.
Motherfucker went to Harvard Law. This guy went to Harvard Law. He's a 45-year-old straight man from New Jersey. He's liberal. His politics are liberal. So this is not a conservative. This is liberal. And he's looking for a long-term relation. But ladies and gentlemen, he's open to short. He is open to short. Just saying. You never know. You never know what's going to happen after a crazy undercover investigation.
Against white men. You'll see later on in this report, and it'll be...
Oh, no. Guys, he's got a cat picture. Oh, that's not a good one. It's not. I would not go with the cat picture. Oh, I wouldn't go with the cat picture. I'm just saying. It's right. It's not the best, man. Cat bros. I'm sorry, cat bros. Just, I don't know.
Quite entertaining. Michael turns out to be quite...
Okay, well, the cowboy hat's not horrible.
The ladies' man.
How long have you been on dating out?
Not very long.
Oh, not very long? Okay, all right, that's good. Let's see.
Have you been going out?
Not a lot.
Anything worth?
You know what's funny? No.
Let's dig right...
Oh, poor guy. Bro, I'm just going to say right now, he may be scarred forever. Imagine if you don't go on dating apps, and the first dating apps you get on, you're catfished essentially by undercover reporters. Imagine if you're not big into dating apps, like it's the first time you've gotten on dating apps, and then you get catfished by a reporter on your first and second date. Because remember, 2 separate women got him on this. 2 separate women. They hinged him. Damn. I mean, that's rough.
Right into Disney's blatant practices of discrimination. If you're wondering how Disney as a company looks at race, gender, and discrimination in the hiring process, about how they recruit and hire talent, look no further.
I think there are times when it's so front and center. It's great because that's the focus, we have so many shows where we're casting and we're we're not even going to see, certain people for it because we. need that particular role to
Yeah.
to
So is it intentional that they want like they only look for diverse candidates for
at
certain
times.
roles?
Yeah, I think there's
Yeah, once again, this is illegal. This is very illegal. Very. King Conda says if the gay population was that high, wouldn't we be heading towards a pop? Oh yeah, no, I mean that's population collapse. Now, by the way, you're good. I mean, we just I'm not trying to get like black pill, doom pill here over on the internet, but we've got some issues as is, right? But yeah, if 15% of the population were gay men, or even if that was the LGBTQ total population, yeah, that would be a huge, massive problem. If it was 15%, yeah, that would not be good. That would not be great. Let's continue.
certainly a belief that it's just good for society and a big no. But there's also a belief that like we're gonna make more money if we appeal to a wider variety of people. And
I love this. I love this. How long does that Sig Sauer hat wearing Cajun, my good friend Valiant Renegade, right? How long does he have to cover these movies are losing money and losing money and losing money? Can people seriously think that these movies are going to attract people and make money when they've tried this dog and pony show for the past 5 years, 6 years, 7 years? At what point is that not going to be a convincing argument to investors? I mean, I don't know. But I mean, we've seen time and time again, it's not going to do the thing. The thing you want, this broad audience, they don't show up because the people you think you're pandering to don't give a fuck about your movie, right? It's like, for example, if you're, Games Workshop with the female custodies, right? Which are, a certain faction in the game, or rather a sub-faction within the Imperium of Man, right? Say, the other female custodies. Who do you think you're pandering to? Who do you think is going to come and buy that because you're virtue signaling, right? If you virtue signal in most of these contexts or wherever else, who do you think you're getting in that you wasn't in already? You're not getting in those people. Those people aren't coming in, right? That's not the thing that makes or breaks somebody getting into a particular hobby, a particular movie, or particular media.
it's a good thing. We have shareholders too, and so diversity helps with that.
Diversity helps with financial incentive.
Yeah.
See, here's my problem. This isn't even a lawsuit, guys. This is just fucking. These people need to be fired. And sorry, bro, you need to be fired, bro. I don't know where he went. I don't know what they were teaching at Harvard Law. This guy is an idiot. And this is the fact that business people that are supposed to be, this is a senior vice president in a business unit. And he is literally coming out here and saying that, yeah, diversity leads to financial improvement. Where? Show me the numbers. There's zero proof for this. Zero proof for this at all. I mean, insane. Absolutely nuts.
So is it like, do you think it's more so on that side, or using like any good prices that's put to use, or
regardless? I think the Disney would do it regardless. But
see, there you go. And that's the real answer. The real answer is Disney would do it regardless. The real answer is Disney doesn't care about the financial returns. And we've covered this for a while. Disney doesn't give a shit about making money. They don't care about pleasing investors. They don't care about a return on your stock. They care about an agenda, particularly Bob Iger. They also care about pleasing certain people in media. I won't. This travel mic isn't as easy to pick up. I won't do it as often as I do when I'm back in Bangkok with the studio mic. But these people don't give a shit about returns. They really don't at all. Yinka says women aren't real, only guys and feds online. True. You're all feds, guys. Red Eye says, if someone doesn't see the writing on the wall, yeah, he's just not getting it at all.
I think that there are, like, even conservative people who may not want to lean into it can easily make the argument that, like, we make more money when we appeal to a wider variety of people, and that means diversity.
Yeah.
Wait, what? What? You know what? He's right though. He's right though. There are a lot of conservative people that co-sign the diversity and equity and inclusion bandwagon, right? There's a lot of people that are on that train, right? And that's one of the problems. One of the problems is that people left and right need to understand that this is not just something that is discriminatory towards specific groups of people, but in addition to being discriminatory and illegal, DEI initiatives are anti-business. They're anti-business, just being productive, being efficient, making what people want, and making money. And money as a reflection of what people value. People don't value the dog shit that is being produced by the Walt Disney Corporation. And there's tons of streamers that cover the dog shit that's coming out. Frankly, guys, I'm going to say this right now. I can't watch any of this stuff. I don't know how anybody watches stuff that is like The Acolyte, which you guys said it, definitely employs these diversity standards. I don't know anybody watches this. I really don't know how these guys sit through 3 full episodes of that just to write a review on the internet for YouTube. God bless them, but I cannot do that, right? I would blow my brains out if I had to sit through the Disney dog shit, right, over and over and over again for the purposes of writing a review. I mean, hats off to them, right? But we've seen from those people that do sit through that and know what they're talking about. People like Drinker, people out there, the G&G crowd, Valiant talks about it. Mike talks about it. Mexican Iron Man, who thinks he's not a YouTuber, but he is pro. A lot of folks sit through this and they cover the numbers, they cover the facts, and this stuff is bad. It's objectively bad. Erica, welcome as a new member. Thanks for getting based and joining up with the replay gang. Silbury says some feds are mail carriers like me. There you go. Shout out to my mail carriers. Vicky Bro for 50 Norwegian krona says Disney's actions are contradictory. They want to preach their ideology while also trying to please the Chinese. And the funny thing is, they can't even please the Chinese because the Chinese aren't buying their shit. They're not buying their shit. Death Angel Shadow says, have you seen the DEI orcs that Wizards of the Coast put in 6E? Yes. Once again, what new players can they show came into Wizards of the Coast after they got woke? Can't see it. Let's continue.
Yeah.
There's a real focus on every show. And I'm sure the movies too, that I don't deal with.
Every show. Ladies and gentlemen, are you seeing this? Every show. This proves systemic discrimination. The class action lawsuit, America First Legal, shoe in. With this? You kidding me? Come on. This is bad.
That's so, just making sure that the writers' room has a real, diversity, not just gender or sexual orientation and ethnicity, but making sure that they're hiring some writers who may have certain disabilities where they wouldn't be hired. Since there's kind of a really broad look whenever we're doing that to make sure that everybody gets.
Yeah.
So they talk a big game about DEI, but do they actually do it? Apparently so. They even passed over
I can't believe this man is a lawyer. See, what really boggles my mind is this man went to Harvard fucking law school. This just shows how dog shit Harvard Law School is and how you can wipe your ass with an Ivy League degree. This is a basic of law. Any lawyer would know, yeah, this is illegal. And he did mention to his defense that he thinks they're going to get a lawsuit. But if you think there's going to be a lawsuit as a lawyer, isn't it your job to stop that? To have a sack? To have a ball sack? I mean, he claims to be a straight man, right? To grab that ball sack and to say, you know what, maybe we shouldn't do this because it's illegal, right? But then again, maybe that's why he's 50, 45 or whatever and looking for love on Hinge.
Qualified half black person for a promotion because they didn't look black enough.
Yeah.
We had a situation where we wanted to hire somebody in the department a few years ago now, who was half black, but didn't like appear half black. And there was a creative executive who was like, "We're not like that's not what's wrong." Like
They wanted the full.
they wanted somebody in meetings who would appear a certain way, and he wasn't gonna bring that to the meeting.
Imagine being told, "Hey, bro, you're not black enough, right? You're not black enough. We want Wesley Snipes black. Quarter black Garrett, he can walk. Sorry, quarter black, not black enough. Quarter black, got to be full, right? What is this? This sounds like, guys, this sounds like the racist South. It literally sounds like the racist South back in the day where they're like, well, we don't take no octoroons, right? What the fuck is this shit? And this is insane. And this is discrimination. This is clear discrimination, guys. This is straight up discrimination without any ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's absolutely nuts. And it doesn't make it okay because, oh, well, it's because of their whiteness, right? That's not okay. That's illegal. This is straight up illegal. There's no massaging it. Speaking of massaging, Mexican Ironman says, how shocked is Andrew by Disney's internal practices? Not shocked at all, methinks. No, I'm not shocked, but I am indignant, right? I'm indignant that they went about it this callously. It's fucking insane. Let's continue.
And so this is like on the
This was on the
corporate side, like the business side.
Never understood that. Is it like, 'cause I know a lot of like I have like a lot of black friends who like are not as dark as like So do they care about that, or it's like the ethnicity actually?
They say they don't care about it, but the truth is, to some extent, they do. If you're mixed, right, you don't look black at all, which sometimes happens.
Yeah.
Then they're like, oh, I'm not so sure. But if you're mixed and you can tell they're somebody's part black, but they're not like that blacks.
What the fuck does that mean? Right? Like think about how racist this is. Think about how racist this is. They don't look that black. Well, what does black look like? Right? Jesus Christ. This is fucking bad. This is really bad. Like, oh, sorry, you're not brown enough. Right? Holy shit. Like, and just think about it if the context was flipped, right? It doesn't make it okay. And I know I'm repeating myself. I really know, but this is a point of righteousness, right? Where this evil needs to be rooted out. It's illegal and it's wrong morally, right? It's illegal, right? So the law is on the side here, but I am going to say morally this is wrong. This is wrong. It is against the spirit of America. It's against the spirit of civil rights. This is not equality under the law. This is active discrimination.
Okay, that was so crazy.
But apparently Meghan Markle is black enough. You can't make this up.
So would like Meghan Markle, who's pretty white,
Right, yeah.
would she be considered?
She would still
like,
be,
diverse,
yeah.
or
Huh? As a white guy, even Michael has his own doubts about the possibility for advancement for himself at
Wow.
Disney, saying, quote, as far as Disney is concerned, I'm a white male.
Now I'm like a half step below a department head. I have a team under me, but I don't oversee a whole department. And I'd like to oversee everyone, whether that's at Disney or having to lead.
Okay. Do you think that you'll have?
By the way, I love the music in the background. Dun, 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 dun. I mean, I was like, oh God, all right. Pick your date spots wisely, guys. Pick your date spots wisely. I'm just gonna say. But anyways, that said, do you not have some self-reflection, like when you might not get a promotion yourself, that this might be wrong, and what you're doing might be horribly, horribly bad, right? Because it doesn't seem like he thinks this is that bad. It seems like he thinks it's okay. Like he thinks it's fine.
Have the opportunity at Disney.
I'm not sure, to be honest with you. I think I'm sort of like well prepared for it. I'm well positioned for it. But as far as Disney's concerned, I'm a white male, and that's not who they're looking to promote at the moment.
In fact, Michael actually got to experience Disney's discrimination against white men.
Okay, I want to say this. I normally don't mention non-supers here, but somebody says, who the fuck talks about their work and worth ethic so much on a date? Bro. I'm just going to tell you right now, the times that I have heard all about people's entire work life, all of their coworkers, all of their bullshit, that is definitely something that happens. That definitely happens where people will just need to vent about their job or just go off about their job. That definitely happens, guys. For sure. For sure.
Males firsthand.
So,
Oh, do you think that has a lot to do with it?
I don't know about a lot, but it's something to do with it.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you think the competition is?
Oh, I mean, I've been up for jobs internally against people who have less experience than me, and haven't gotten.
Okay. And they were given to somebody else. Do you think it had something to do with their...
One or two cases, I was told.
Guys, the EOC, okay, let me just put it this way. The EEOC, when they see this, will have to allow this to go forward. Now, even if this isn't admissible in court, a statement like this can be reviewed by the EEOC when they're saying, hey, should we let this forward or not? And imagine this guy and his files can be discoverable, right? They can deposition this motherfucker, right? This is insane. This is absolutely insane. And by the way, people are saying this in the chat. I do agree. I do think he is flexing his job. I do think he's flexing his job. I'm a big Disney bigwig, right? I think especially Disney people, they think it's the coolest thing in the world, and they will talk about working at Disney forever, right? If you get them started, they won't stop. They will just keep going and going and going about Disney. You haven't talked to a Disney employee until you've seen this level of derangement.
Well, very explicitly that it is. Yeah.
Explicitly how? What did they tell you?
Oh, I mean, I've been at the company 11 years now, so I have friends in HR and I have friends in those divisions, and they're like, look, nobody else is going to tell you this, Mike, but they're not considering any white males for a shop. They're just not. That's not what they want.
And so it's probably fair that Disney would say, we don't want a white person to play this role.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're very careful about they're very careful about messaging, because they don't want to get to discrimination in either direction. But certainly there have been times where, there's no way we're hiring a white male person.
Just kind of unspoken.
There are times when it's spoken, but
how would they say it?
There's no way we're hiring a white male person. They say
like straight to you, or okay.
They'd be very careful how they message that to agents.
In like email or whatever.
But
After getting a dose of Disney's discrimination himself, it seems like Michael may have been hit with a reality check that discrimination against people based upon race is probably not cool.
I mean, it kind of feels like at some point there's going to be a lawsuit.
But he doesn't seem like, okay, he's acknowledging that there might be a lawsuit. And by the way, Michael, Harvard lawyer, this isn't a feeling. This is a fact. See, this is the type, I just want to, okay, I'm going to solo for a second. Actually, no, I need him on the screen. I need this guy on the screen. This is the type of cuck that I had to deal with when I was inside counsel, right? I had to deal with these soy boy, spineless, ballless bastards like Michael when I was in-house counsel, who put away their integrity, their knowledge, their passing the bar exam for feelings, for fucking feelings. It's not a feeling, Mikey Poo. It's a fact. There will be a lawsuit. And as an in-house counsel, you have neglected your duty to properly advise the company that there will be a lawsuit for sure. It's just a matter of time because you have no testicles. Just get it together, bro. This is your job. At least do that.
It's kind of how it feels, just because of,
And that is a lawyer talking. Now, could it get worse? It actually does.
I mean, that said, we've seen how bad takes lawyers can have, okay? We've seen internet lawyers, especially internet lawyers, sometimes can have really bad takes, okay? And let me be the first to say, and I'll say this about myself, right? Lawyers are not fucking infallible. We're not some sort of like infallible Pope-like figures. What we say is the unspeakable and unchallengeable word of the law of God, right? That's no, we're not infallible. But that said, we should at least do a basic analysis and use a certain basic thought pattern. And this guy, as a member of the business, as a member of the business unit, has a job to be using that legal brain, that legal mindset to come up with a better analysis than, oh, well, yeah, this might be a problem. But, people have said it explicitly. And, I was cool with that, because diversity is going to make us more money. No.
Not only does Disney discriminate against white men, it gives management bonuses to hire DEI candidates over white men, totally disregarding their level of qualification.
That is also illegal. That is super illegal.
As long as they're not white. You heard me correctly. A part of some executives' compensation package is based on hiring and retaining black hires. We saw this in the case of IBM. America First Legal has launched a lawsuit. Many people coming out of the woodwork from.
And this is exactly the same type of lawsuit that launched with Disney. It's already in the works.
IBM from these Fortune 500 companies, all saying they've experienced this. We are certain to hear from people inside Disney who've made these claims. Many people here in Los Angeles, here in Hollywood, very afraid of Disney, very afraid of retaliation against their creative productions or movies or films or jobs for speaking about this truth. But if you have been a victim of discrimination, please reach out to OMG or Citizen Journalism Foundation. We will try to get you representation to get your rights back. I've had it with all my personal and private information.
Okay, so I think that's what we got here. Let me make sure I skim it a little bit here. Oh, there's a little bit at the end. There's a little bit at the end here. So let me get this part. All right, a little bit left. This about another minute or so of this clip.
Exactly. But I mean, literally, they have stats. 17% of our executives at this level identify as XYZ. 40% of our executives at this level identify as, they have goals that they're trying to
see. That's the problem. Okay, so it isn't illegal to track the number of, let's say, LGBTQ executives or employees, or whatever. To track the number is not illegal. But to set a racial quota, an identity quota, a nationality quota, any of these quotas, that's the illegal thing, right? It's not the fact that you track it. Tracking it is one thing, but setting a quota is another. And that's the thing, that if that's discovered, they're fucking done. Like that's just like from a legal standpoint, right?
They want a certain percentage of diversity here, a certain percentage
Right.
of diversity there.
But are these these are open goals? Because you're saying they can't say it in such specific terms. So are they open goals?
They are open goals at a senior enough level.
So how does Disney explain pushing these discriminatory practices to the people that they work with? Well, according to Michael Giordano, it seems like it's a sensitive issue and they use code words and buzzwords.
I'm guessing that there is a acceptable code words and buzzwords that are used to explain what they're looking for. They might say something like, look, we're not looking at like the usual suspects for this job. So it's like not like a legally actionable thing.
Spoiler, that is legally actionable, especially if you know what that means. And now, thank you, Michael. Whenever we see that in the records or the emails, and we see, hey, it's not the usual suspects, we know that's code word for white men. Thanks, bro.
Not everybody knows what it means.
According to Michael, even Disney's human resources agencies are on board with these practices.
Okay, well, that's not surprising. Guys, come on, that's not surprising. We all know HR's in on this shit. They're like the ringleaders, right? That's not surprising. So once again, shocker, HR is in on this bullshit. They're the ones that are cheerleading this. They're the ones that are totally ignoring the law. In fact, they're the ones pushing that, right? HR has been kind of the engine behind all of this.
Guys, do you know what the code words are for the discriminatory hiring practices? Do you work in HR? No? You familiar with the buzzwords? They don't know what I'm talking about now, but they will soon.
The writers and actors will hear all the time, like, I'm looking to hire writers and actors who bring diversity. I'm not looking to bring on.
Sorry, I for some reason I just heard in my head, and maybe it's because I've seen that meme. I'm looking for a man in finance, 6'5", blue eyes. Like for some reason that came into my head, right? That like earworm came into my head. Sorry for that random distraction, but yes.
Any more clients who are like, so there's definitely that focus.
Disney even has an internal organization such as 20th Action Group, whose sole purpose is to promote discriminatory DEI hiring practices and to push bizarre characters and storylines on children. The question is, can the people just come to work, make their cartoons, and do the discrimination elsewhere? But apparently not on CEO Bob Iger's watch. So how is
That's so great. That's so great. It's like, can you just make fucking cartoons? Can you shut the fuck up and make cartoons? Like, come on.
prioritizing these DEI practices over hiring merit-based talent worked out for Disney shareholders, you might ask? Well, over the past 5 years, the S&P index is up over 88%, and Disney is down almost 30%, making that once golden brand one of Wall Street's biggest disappointments.
So there was actually and that's what we got from that. There was actually a great comparison of what you would have earned if you invested in certain companies over 30 years. And at the absolute bottom of the major companies was Disney. So despite the fact that the stock market has gone wild and the gains have been fucking insane over the past 30 years, and the investment in Disney, yes, you would still gain money, right? But you'd gain the least of any other major company, right? That's been around for that same period of time. It's nuts. These guys are burning through opportunities. They had an opportunity to make bank. It's absolutely nuts. Let's get a couple of these, and then we're going to talk about the two lawsuits, a couple of super chats. Then we're getting into the two lawsuits, the class action, and as well as Gina Carano lawsuit. We'll talk about that. Nick says, Cruiser says, Riser for 10 says, I've been told I'm racist for so many things. I'm having a hard time recognizing actual racism. I know we get so gaslit on you're a racist, you're a misogynist, sexist, that when real stuff comes up, it's kind of hard to identify, right? Kenny Church said HR isn't even doing their jobs. HR's first job is preventing lawsuits. They're literally creating lawsuits, incentivizing lawsuits, one might say. Some kanji and Japanese characters I can't read. Says these corpos know it's illegal, but they don't care because certain ones are protected from lawsuits over DEI practices. Nothing will happen, Disney. No, that's not. I disagree with you. They have active lawsuits, and they're going to have to settle those. That's not nothing. Now, is that going to bankrupt the Walt Disney Company? No. For those that may be wondering, and once again, I'm intellectually honest. As much as I will say they're going to get a lawsuit, they're going to lose a lawsuit, will that bankrupt the Walt Disney Company? No, it won't, right? It will not. But what it will do is it will destroy their reputation. It will hurt them writ large. And also investors will get shell shocked. They'll definitely say, hey, look, do we want to be investing here? Is this a good investment? People don't want to invest in companies that are getting sued and losing all the time, right? So yes, there will be effects that'll be real. This is not Niji Sanji. This is not negligible, right? Now it's not going to be immediate. It's not going to be tomorrow, but the effects will be there. They're compounding. They're not just one thing and that thing breaks them. It is multiple things that bring it on a downward trajectory, that continue their downward trajectory. If we look at their stock, and I'll just go ahead and pull up the Disney stock, I don't think he did a good enough job of pulling up the stock, because what you really got to look at this stock on is a 5-year timeline. And I'm going to put the brand banner because I know that people are going to be all up in this about financial advice. Obviously, this is not financial advice, but what I can just show you is, when in doubt, zoom out. Look at Disney over the past 5 years. Look at this. What path are they on right now? Is it a general upward or general downward? Right? General downward, right? That's what the general path looks like to me, right? I'm not like roaring kitty over here trying to give you options predictions. I'm just saying, hey, look, that's what I see. But I'm just a simple Florida lawyer, right? Just a simple Florida lawyer. Kenny Trickster said 4 months supporting my favorite litigator. Also, what did I miss? Say what's up, Katie. Hypnotic said people should watch Moist Critical's review. I don't know. I haven't seen it. Charlie sometimes has really good takes, and sometimes he has bad takes. I haven't seen it though. So yeah. Weird says, for 2, said he's going to be replaced with a black lesbian. Yeah, I think that's highly likely. That'll help them hit their quota. They replace this evil white man with a black lesbian. I mean, that's double points for him, you know? It's double points. And then real quick over here on locals, we've got this, which was posted earlier by Uncover Lamp, which is the Disney Star Wars movie we all wanted to see. Not likely, but I'm good with settling for DeSantis instead. Let me pull up the image here real quick as it loads. Revenge of the Jedi, right? Very much needed. Star Wars definitely needs some vengeance after the corpse of Star Wars has been desecrated. All right. So let me talk about the 2 lawsuits. So obviously we talked about the class action lawsuit, which is over these inclusion standards, right? So we've got these inclusion standards which talk about racial quotas, and this is precisely what this talked about here. Now, even if this is something that cannot be used in court, even if this is not admissible in court, what they could potentially do is use it to get past any administrative requirements, because once again, for these administrative requirements, they may be able to look at evidence that, maybe hearsay evidence or otherwise evidence that wouldn't be admissible in court. They may be able to look at that to decide whether it proceeds to discovery or not, proceeds to trial, and say, you know what, this does merit a trial. And at that point, many of these cases are actually settled, right? When they get past the EOC, when they go to a case, to court, Disney may say, you know what, we're settling. And that would be a big thing. Now, about Gina Carano. Gina Carano has a lawsuit related to discrimination against her. The problem is that this doesn't specifically show animus towards Gina Carano. However, it does show general animus, and it does show general animus against people that are, white men. Now, she's not a man, but she's white, so I mean, she could have that going. But beyond that, her cause of action really stem out of labor law, right? And specific labor law requirements and provisions, which are related to discriminating against political beliefs, right? She's also having a sexual discrimination component, but that's in relation to her male coworkers not being fired while she is fired for the exact same thing. I don't think it's a silver bullet for her, but here's the thing. It might be something that could come up in discovery. And once again, as I've said for all of these suits, especially Gina Carano, if Gina Carano gets discovery, she wins. It's not about the jury verdict. Elon knows this. The reason why Elon is funding this is to get the discovery. It's to leash their dirty laundry and show they are a nasty, wretched, politically driven company. That's the W. So it's not some crazy right-wing conspiracy. It's the facts as we see them played out in 4K, that this is just what is happening. It's not something that we're making up out of whole cloth or crazy old Andrew with his conspiracy. He literally said it. He said, we're not hiring white. Dude, this guy came out and said, you're not black enough, bro. That should be offensive. I mean, if you're not offended by that, I don't know what's going to offend you, right? And I don't know how that's not wildly offensive to African Americans who maybe have mixed heritage. It's insane. It's absolutely nuts. So with Gina Carano, possible to come up in Discovery? Sure. Might give them people to specifically look at? Absolutely. Absolutely. Might give them some targets to focus in on. That said, that's what I got from my analysis, guys. If you like this, make sure you smash the like button. And I hope, guys, if you aren't subscribed, you please subscribe. We got 1,500. We had 600 people watch us live. I hope you guys enjoy this. I'm up at 3 in the morning. It's 3 in the morning right now. I got to wake up in like 5 hours just to get on somebody's stream. So I got to sleep at some point, right? I got to sleep at some point. But please make sure you like this. Please make sure you support the channel. Really, really appreciate that. And as a little outro here, I've got this video. And now I know I shat on cat videos. So I'm going to redeem team the cats here. And I've got this wholesome video as an outro on a cat singing blues. Let's go out on this. Oh, sorry. It's right here.
I saw that like April, somebody called